Hi, welcome to Mr. Otter Studio. Today I'm going to give you a tip for drawing teeth. Many of my students had this problem, and I think that it is good and important to note that in classical artwork, paintings and sculptures, many times the people did not show their teeth. It's very rare actually to find a sculpture or a painting with someone that's smiling and showing all of their teeth. There's like hints of smiles, but very rarely like all of their teeth are there. In contemporary art, you can see everything, but in classical artwork, they didn't. And I think there's different reasons for that. One of them is it's probably difficult to make look convincing. And another one is if you're painting or sculpting from a figure, a model that's in front of you, they're not going to be able to hold a huge smile showing all of their teeth for a really long time. The amount of time it would have taken to create that painting or that sculpture. So today we have photographs and we can work way differently. And some of you want to include teeth in your drawings, but you don't want it to look weird. And you don't want it to be the focal point of your drawing. And so today, I'm gonna show you how to avoid that. So let's draw this together. Go ahead and grab a paper and a pencil and an eraser. My eraser is gone, so I'm using this one. And we'll just draw this together, and we will learn these tips as we go along. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is just draw like the opening of the mouth. So it kind of actually comes up on the corner. It's going to curve down a little bit and then come back up and over and down. And then the bottom opening is going to just come down and make like, it totally depends on this person and their mouth, but it's going to come down and then back up and in. And let's try to make it similar. Let's zoom in here. So this is the opening of the mouth, remember, not the lips. We haven't drawn those yet. So this is just the very opening of the mouth. And you want it to be a little bit more similar. Mine looks really lopsided, but that's okay. You will still learn this trick. Okay, now let's go ahead and draw. Let me just try to make these match a little bit more. Let's just go ahead and draw that top lip in. Come out about right here. You could add that little dip if they have it. It's probably really stretched out because of this big smile. And then the teeth that are going to be in here. And then I think this probably needs to come up even further like that. Okay, so this is the opening of the mouth. I'm just going to redraw that bottom line. Hopefully you're drawing a lot lighter than I am. Don't need to erase as much. So the teeth are going to be in this area. This is like the open area where the mouth is kind of bending around it. And then the bottom lip. And it's coming up and then back in. And we're not wearing lip liner, so we don't want like these really dark outlines. But the lips are a different color, and this person's wearing lipstick, so it's definitely a different color. So before we draw on the teeth, let's just add some quick shading to the lips, just so I feel like it makes it just a little bit easier. So just grab your pencil and add some shading. You can shade in the direction of the mouth, or I'm just gonna quickly, I don't know why I just want to hurry and shade this way. I feel like it's being stretched like this. And there would be a shadow still along the bottom. This isn't a flat shape, it's round. You can indicate that too with like how you're shading if you bring some of your lines in that direction. And then the bottom lip. So the skin of your lip is different than the skin around it because it's thinner. It's like the lip from inside of your mouth. And so it's a little bit of a different color. All right, and I'm just gonna add like a little bit of a shadow up here to indicate that area. And then maybe just some little tiny smile marks. And there would still be a shadow under here. Okay. Now we've got just some of these basics on here. If you want to add some shading on these areas, I mean, if this person, let's say they're wearing lip gloss really quick, you probably would need to make this just a little tiny bit darker. grab your eraser and you can just take, I like to just peel off a piece of my eraser and then just kind of erase out some of those highlights. My eraser, I should have used my electric eraser. You can barely see this one. Okay, just ignore that, don't do that. Just keep it light and bring your shadows through it. Okay, so ignore the lips and how choppy they look. And let's focus on the teeth. That's what we're here for. Okay, so let's draw these teeth in, and we're gonna start with the front ones. And remember that the teeth are not flat, like we're not gonna draw a flat line like this, but it actually curves. So we're gonna start with just the middle two teeth are pretty straight, but then it curves back up. Right, so curving, and I'm having a hard time with the left side, but don't worry, this still will be helpful, I promise. Okay, so now this is the line that our teeth are going to go on. So let's go ahead and draw those front teeth in first. They are not always, but this person probably had braces. They're just very nice and perfect. Big, straight teeth. So try to make them look like, you know, pretty similar. This person does have pretty similar ones. So these two shapes, they're rounded on the top and we can see a little bit of the gums, and then they are straight across on the bottom. And these are not the same size, but I don't know why that's really gonna bother me. Okay, and then the next teeth, actually, they can be along the same line or they can come up just a little bit, and they are much smaller. So we really can just see like 8 teeth, really. So then let's go ahead and draw this one next to that one. And then the canine teeth, they just kind of come over at an angle like that. So just kind of draw a line pointing over to the side and then a line down. And behind these ones, you can kind of see the 2 teeth that would be behind them. Okay, so I'm just kind of indicating that those are there. Okay, now this looks creepy, right? I mean, it looks, the lip, number one, my shading it's not great. But that's not what we're focusing on for this one. It's really gonna be this area in here. All right, so to make these teeth look really good, the first thing we're going to do is just make sure that we have these shapes around it, right? We're gonna add some of that shading in the back of the mouth. And this is really what's going to define the teeth rather than the lines that come up through them. That is really the biggest tip. Don't outline your teeth. You'll see how I'm gonna kind of smudge some of these lines. When you outline the teeth, it just, it doesn't look real, I guess. And it also, because there's going to be so much contrast when you do that, it might make it like the focal point of your drawing, which you probably don't want. So I'm just drawing this middle part, or I guess the inside of the mouth area, darker, right? Because it would be. And the gums might be a little bit darker than I have them here. Also, remember this is round and these back teeth are tucked back in. So we're just gonna add a little bit of shading to those teeth. We're not making them black, but they are in shadows because they're further away from us and they are kind of in the mouth. Okay, now this is where creepy mouth comes in. And if you wanna see the creepiest teeth ever, look at a sculpture that was done of Lucille Ball. It's called Creepy Lucy, and the teeth they just take over the whole sculpture because there's so much contrast going on there. Anyway, I think they actually changed it, and the new one is great. But the old one, really, the teeth just did it such a disservice, and you don't want your teeth to be the focus. Okay, now in here, this is the key. You do not want hard outlines like this. If you want it to look illustrative and stuff like that, it's fine. But if you don't want your teeth to be like the focus, then you want to have light lines. You don't even need to have these lines going in. Oh, I forgot my eraser is totally not there. You can even just take your eraser, erase out some of those lines. And then with your pencil, just kind of lightly, if you have a how do you even say it, tortilla, a blender stump. You can like lightly add some of those in, but really, I think the least amount of contrast you can have in this area, the better. And that is my tip. So do not outline your teeth and add as little contrast as possible in between them. And then you'll end up with teeth that look a little bit more realistic. Let's see, let me zoom out. Like from far away, I need to fold one of these so you can see them next to each other. All right, so look at these two examples. So here's the example we did together, and this is another example. And this one clearly, like the shading is crazy, but the teeth are also outlined. So it makes it just look nuts. Also, if you don't want it to look too crazy, you know, don't, like this is a creepy smile. I don't know. Just think if, you know, the smile is gonna come through, whatever was happening there. So kind of think about that, and also just remember that tip. Do not add dark outlines to your teeth. Try to add little contrast there so that it doesn't become the focal point of your drawing. Hopefully that was helpful for you and you were able to draw along with me. Hopefully your teeth look a lot better than mine did, because we had some serious issues in here with these lips. And also maybe you got a little bit more form on the mouth as well. So thank you so much for drawing with me. Tomorrow I'm going to go over drawing hair and just give you a few tips for that. And then we will draw a portrait and a full figure. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.